All righty. We are live and in studio, I guess virtual studio. All right, Jamie, how we doing tonight?
Doing great. How you doing? I'm glad we got the kinks worked out. Hopefully this goes off good for the next hour for us here.
I hope so too. I think we're making some progress here. So this is Guns and 701. Everything you want to know pertaining to North Dakota firearms. We are very focused on the Second Amendment firearms, but that also leads into a lot of other things. I mean, let's face it, the Second Amendment, it absolutely affects everything in our lives, guys. I mean, without the Second Amendment, we don't have anything. And of course, I'm going to start it off like we should have been doing a long time ago. The Second Amendment is a well
hmm
regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And I tell you what, it doesn't get any clearer than that, does it, Jamie?
It doesn't. I mean, if you don't understand that, something's wrong with you. Hey, you want to cut that background music?
Oh, I suppose we better bring that down a little, huh? Let's fade that out.
There you go.
People think we went funny or something.
Yeah. Yep. Well, hey
So,
everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. If you're listening, I'm glad you tuned into us here. Um, Last week we had a little technical difficulties, but Clay and I got on it early today, and Clay luckily I got Clayton on the team here. He's my teammate because without Clay, I told him before I'd be getting in a lot of arguments with my wife trying to figure this out. But appreciate you, buddy. You did some good work on here, and
uh,
thank my buddy's wife, Jen Brown, for making that beautiful guns in the 701 for me back there.
it's a great,
It's
I love it.
awesome. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. It's going to make for some nice can koozies once we get rolling. So,
We're
what,
we're uh, we're gonna have to start looking at those kinds of things here pretty soon.
yeah, well, hopefully, right?
As far as like bumper stickers and things go, I'm pretty sure I can get us I can get us in on that pretty good. I got a real good friend. He's a veteran, Iraq War veteran. His name is James Gamble. He's out of North Carolina. The guy is just awesome. He was planning to come out here, but of course, Biden inflation took care of that along with the high gas
Oh,
prices.
yeah.
So he
Oof.
did postpone that trip, and I don't blame him. But he's a small little company, and I love doing business with him. In fact, he helped me make the Dump Dug ND stickers. So he's got to
Nice.
be good, right?
Nice. Nice. So, I just checked here. We are, Buck Muley is live now on Facebook.
Great.
So, it is working on there, Clay. Nice work,
So
buddy.
you should be able to watch us live on, of course, our YouTube channel, Guns in the 701. You should be able to see it on Guns in the 701 on Fascist Book, along with Sturm, our good friend Sturm, our good bud Buck,
Yep.
and of
You
course
bet.
on Clay Pederson. That should be a public live stream there as well. So I think we're at streaming on 8 different pages and platforms. So you should be able to find us. Of course, YouTube, you
Yep.
can go check it out anytime because it ends up posting there when we're done. So,
Yep.
hey,
Evening, Big
Randy,
R.
thank you. I mean, I'm
He's
guessing you
officially
know
Big
him.
R.
He's
Yeah, he's
officially.
officially Big R. Hey, Mark, how's it going, brother, man? I guess Mark's in there from California. That's what we were talking. I was texting you earlier about Clay
Oh,
about the. Yeah,
yeah.
appreciate you, man. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, welcome,
So
Mark.
I guess without any further ado, we can get going on some topics here, huh? What do you think?
Well, I think so. First, I'm going to put this up. Boom, right here. I got to put that up
Yeah,
just about every episode
yeah,
until this is
love
over.
it.
Guys, the assault weapons ban, that's going to be House Resolution 1808. This passed already in the House. There's no more fighting it in the House. It's going to go to the Senate. Make sure you're out there going after your senators. I'm pretty confident in North Dakota. I mean, I know that Senator Kramer and Senator Hoven, especially in election year, are not going to vote for this, but they wouldn't anyway. I'm very confident of that, so I'm
Right.
not even concerned. So as far as that goes, I think we're good. But if you live
I
in
would say
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, hey, feel free to call them and tell them anyways. Just it ain't gonna hurt nothing,
Doesn't
and
hurt
tell them,
anything.
and in fact, tell them when you call that you appreciate them being A plus NRA rated and being pro gun and everything. Because usually, and I'm guilty of that too. When you call your representatives, I mean, you usually call them to chew their rear end out, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to call them and tell them thank you when they do good things.
Great point. Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, like you said, they always hear the bad things when someone's pissed off. They're always going to hear about that. But
Right.
absolutely, that's a good idea. Hey, it looks like so he's sending out notices to the crew. Good
Appreciate
deal.
that, Mark. Appreciate it. Hey, man,
We
that's
I will
awesome.
say
We
we've climbed
appreciate.
up to seven 7 viewers, so I'm glad to see that. And
Okay.
it's funny. I've been tracking this a little bit. Most of them are coming in on the YouTube channel, Guns in the 701. So, and that's okay. Also, guys,
That's
don't forget to go to rumble.com. Check out Guns in the 701. You'll have to search it because we're not a real big channel there yet. You can't go live there yet, not on what we're doing, but they're working towards to have that. But we do upload every episode afterwards, so you can always check it
so,
out there too.
so Mark's crew, they're the Misfit Patriots on Telegram. That's the name of his crew there. So we got all them guys. Listen, appreciate you, Misfit Patriots. Any of you guys listen, it's awesome. Clay and I are gonna need all the support we can get to keep it rolling. So
Yeah.
So
I'm getting a lot of good feedback, and I know Jamie is too. So we want to thank everybody. So yeah, look, we should probably dive into some. What do you want to hit first? Jamie?
yeah. So let's go along. We kind of talked about these celebrities, trying to delve into the Second Amendment issue. I don't really know jack diddly about it. So the first guy I'm going to talk about here, he's the Indianapolis Colts and NFL team. He's a general manager. His name's Chris Ballard. So here's a quote he had, right? "I'm not anti-gun, but I'm anti-military style weapons. It blows my mind away that an 18-year-old kid can walk in and buy an AK-15 automatic weapon. That makes no sense. Zero." All right, so let's break this down a little bit, Clay. First of all, buddy, if you're anti-military style weapon, I hate to tell you this. I hate to tell you this, old Mr. Ballard, but you are anti-gun, Clay. And why would that be? Because what's a military style weapon anyways, Clay?
Oh, military style! What a crazy concept. Oh, 1911 Colt 1911.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then want to go back a little farther. We can go. Let's just choose
go back a little
Winchester
farther.
1866. Lever action was used. Actually, was one of the sought after guns in the Civil War.
Yeah.
Oh darn, that's a military firearm now.
A musket though, a
musket?
single shot. I mean that's what they meant. That's not a military. Wait a minute. Whoa, British military had it. George Washington and the boys had it. So
imagine that.
Hey Ballard, I hate to tell you, every gun. In fact, a bow and arrow is a military weapon if you really want to go that far, right?
Yeah, I mean,
what would they find sticking in Custer other than bullet holes?
Arrows. A few arrowheads out there on that battlefield of Montana, isn't there?
Yeah. Yep.
And for all you millennials that might be in, I got to say this to you. That's a history lesson. Go check out where the Custer battlefield is. The Battle of the Little Big Horn, or you probably even find it on the communist Google search, but I recommend Brave, but go check that one out.
And if they even don't any further, the Indians kicked Custer and the rest of the white guys' rear ends up there. So
they did.
A little history lesson. Hey, all right, 1911 is fantastic, Kevin. I don't own one, but a lot of my friends do, and I shot them, and there ain't many pistols that feel better in your hand than a 1911 in my opinion.
Are you saying, Jamie, that I have to bring a handful of my 1911s up there so we can have some fun?
Yep,
absolutely. We may have to do that. So we're probably gonna have to do a Guns in the 701 Brecht gun range live stream.
Oh yeah. Big R's got a good. He's got a good comment on here. He said, also remind them that there are roughly 13,800 school districts in this country, and each one could have roughly 6 SROs instead of 87,000 IRS agents. I mean, that is perfect. I could not agree with you more. Or for that matter, cut it in half and put another 40,000 on the border.
Absolutely. No, you're spot on there, Andy. I mean, can you imagine what that would do in our schools? The protection that could provide? Absolutely.
Yep. Well, a rock and a sling was a war weapon too. Yeah, I mean everything is. And before that, I mean, what were the Vikings using? Big axes, and I mean this weapon of war thing, people. It's ridiculous because once we got rid of those, I can guarantee you they're coming after everything else. So
absolutely.
And I've said it before. What many of mass shootings have been done with bolt actions, lever action, mostly with handguns. I guess I'm not going to rehash that right now unless somebody really wants me to go in depth about it. But yeah, I'm not going to do that. We kind of went over that last week. Like Pat Benatar wasn't going to sing "Hit Me with Your Best Shot" anymore, which has nothing to do with. It's her own song, and it doesn't have nothing to do with guns. And this Congressman Cicilline, I think is his name. When last week when they had up Daniel Defense and Smith and Wesson and Ruger. He was claiming that an arm brace, when you put an arm brace on, it was just like a bump stock and it made it go full automatic. Anybody who knows what an arm brace is, a pistol brace, there's nothing to do with making it go full automatic.
And
There was
That's
all
just,
kinds of ridiculous testimony up there by these.
and it just shows you got politicians who really know nothing about what they're talking about. I mean, they've come up with some of the dumbest terms, although we've had a lot of fun with them. Ghost gun, things
Yeah.
like that.
Yep.
They haven't really. Here's what's happened in all these debates. I've noticed this over a course of literally 10, 15 years. They were always calling things automatic that were semi-automatic or auto-loading. They didn't understand that fully autos are actually very highly restrictive, and that's what they kept trying to equate the AR-15 to. Again, the AR-15, they were calling them assault rifles when really it was the Armalite rifle.
Yep.
I mean, this is just, you got these guys up there. It's all virtual signaling. They want to basically control the populace, and the easiest way to do that is scare a bunch of them that don't know, low information voters, as Rush used to recall to them,
Yep.
scare them, and basically try to make everything illegal, and then have total control on
Well,
what's
our
legal.
own president, 9mm will blow your lungs out. Yeah.
The lung blower.
And then on the testimony they had, I think it was Biden himself saying that he had talked to a surgeon, and that's who told him that. But yeah, a 9mm will blow your lungs. I mean, no. And then we had this Congresswoman McBath. She was going back and forth. I can't remember. I think it was one of the guys from Florida. How it was the same thing McConaughey said about how when you get shot with an AR-15, it'll just absolutely vaporize your head. And I'm not saying that it won't at close range, but guess what? Most rifles that you hunt deer with, I mean, pretty much all of them above that will definitely vaporize your head even more. And cause more damage. They don't, the
Here's
people
the
who
one.
don't know anything are making the rules. It's asinine.
One thing I've never understood is they always try to make it sound like something like a 223 Remington or a 5.56 NATO coming out of an AR-15. That's just the most powerful round ever. It's going to kill everything, spray and kill. I can tell you right now, and although the video we made, I edited up for you showing the watermelons, it was fun. It was great.
Yeah.
But you also had a learning aspect to that. Look what a shotgun did with buckshot. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, but if my intent is to actually harm people, which it is not, I'm not that person. But let's say a screw goes loose and I go on a rampage. I'm not taking my AR solely. I mean, I'd take it just because I'm familiar with it. But I'm going to grab a shotgun, maybe a couple of them with extended tube mags or tubular magazine, and then I'm going to
We
get
don't need those.
don't need them, and I'm going to hop in my Dodge, my 1-ton diesel, and I can tell you right now, I don't even have to go that fast. Find the biggest crowded place I can. I will do more in that situation than I ever could with an AR on foot. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, good luck convincing the no common sense left of that.
No common sense. That's right.
Hey, my thoughts on that big are that's awesome, man. Especially I'm 51 now. I don't see as good. I love sights on handguns. That's perfect, man. I love it.
I do too. I got one handgun here that has a hologram sight. I love it. I mean, it's another tool. It's just another accessory on your tool, and I want my tool to work the best. Trust me, I shoot a lot with open sights, especially my old cowboy action type
Yep.
guns because I want to keep them that way. So I love them.
Yep.
Heck, I shoot this one. This is open. I mean,
There you
no
go.
big deal.
Perfect.
And
You still
it's a
got
fun gun.
2020 though, don't you?
Yeah, I still got 2020. That's true, guys.
So
10mm, great round by the
yeah.
way.
Oh, I never shot a 10mm. I'm in on that though.
Well, it looks like you
So
and I just have to get together and do some videos
yeah,
with
yeah, for
weapons
sure.
of war.
So earlier there we were talking about talking about the schools there and SROs. I did see a county in North Carolina, a sheriff said he's putting 2 deputies in each school, and there's going to be an AR-15 in there with a locker and extra magazines and a door breacher. So yeah, one of those things right there. Yeah, hopefully it is that one. That's pretty sweet.
Actually, this one, you know what? According to the new 1808 bill, this whole thing, like right here, you got that forward grip, you got the detachable magazine, you got a
muzzle device.
Stocker. Yeah, I mean, that's a big and scary black gun, and we can't have that.
Completely illegal.
Yeah, completely illegal under that new bill.
Yep. Yeah. So, but this North Carolina, I mean, I think that's see to me that's common sense. Me, you, probably everybody listen. That's common sense. But the left,
Absolutely.
they're flipping out over there in North Carolina over this guy. And speaking of sheriffs, we got so down in Florida. I think most people know that who Governor Ron DeSantis is. He fired I think it was a district attorney because he wouldn't enforce. Oh, I know what it was. He wasn't enforce. They got their ban on abortion law down there or whatever.
Yep.
So this guy wouldn't enforce it, and DeSantis relieved him of duty because that's his governor in Florida. He can do that. So
Yes.
now all these liberal newspapers down in Florida want him to fire these constitutional Second Amendment sheriffs who won't enforce gun control. Well, first of all, abortion's not actually in the Bill of Rights. I hate, hey, somebody's head might have just popped when I said that.
Decided.
It's not, right. But, owning firearms is. I mean, that's clearly stated. So why would you fire a sheriff who wouldn't enforce unconstitutional law? And
right
me
here
and
it
Clay
is, guys.
right there, baby. There you go. That's a nice AR anyway. But yeah, Clay and I were talking about this before that, and I told him that actually I'm not sure how many states it is, but so this is a future way of the Dems after doing this. I mean, I like what DeSantis did, and he's right for doing it. There's a lot of states that let the governor fire sheriffs who they think aren't following the law. So, and we all know in blue states, I'm not sure which states they are, but if there's a governor there and some sheriff, which there isn't a lot of blue states, sheriffs saying they're not going to enforce gun control, they can fire them and then have them replaced with an anti-gun sheriff. So, I mean, that's coming down the pipe on us here.
And it just shows you how the other side of this, like I said, it comes down to control. And they know that the one thing in this country is the Second Amendment that keeps them out of total and 100% control. So they're going to take every step they can. They don't care what the Constitution says, unless it's something they invent like abortion, which isn't in there.
Right.
Or
right. Then all of a sudden they care about it like it's the greatest thing I'll ever.
Exactly. Yeah. Shall not be infringed means you better not. Exactly, Randy. Yeah. That is exactly what you're talking about. Shall not be infringed. And I can tell you right now, I get in this argument all the time with people. Oh, well, the Second Amendment was written over 200 million. Them people didn't know nothing. And it's you can interpret it. No, you can't. Here's the beauty of the Constitution. It's not a living document like they'd like to teach kids in public government indoctrination schools. It is an actual very, very strict document that limits the power of government and affirms and actually recognizes the rights that we have that are God-given, which are in our Bill of Rights and in every amendment after that. That's how it works. It also was written in plain English so that the everyday person, I mean, let's face it, the founding of the country, very few people had education. They had common sense, good work ethic. They were looking for freedom. They took a journey across the ocean. Think about that. Took a journey across the ocean to get away from tyranny. They knew what they were doing, and it was completely as written and very easy to understand with nothing hidden in there to be interpreted. And that's
far back as I can remember, I could understand what it meant. And they try to misconstrue it into some other stupid meaning. Yes. It's the National Guard. The National Guard is controlled by the government, the militia. Oh God, the evil militia! It's such an evil. It's such an evil. We're going to segue that into what we were talking about too with the flags and everything. But the militia, I can't remember in the Constitutional Convention, Tench Cox or somebody. What is the militia? It's the people. It's the people. It's not run by the government, and that's and guess what? When George Washington and the boys didn't have enough people to fight the British, guess who they looked for? They came to the farmers and everybody who had guns. It was the whole of the people is the militia. Like I like to say this to people too. If you don't want to be part of a militia in America, I got bad news for you. Constitution says you are, so deal with it.
Exactly, and then. Kevin, you're absolutely right. It's every time they start talking about gun control, the sales just skyrocket. I mean, remember when Obama got elected?
Unfortunately.
And I know that, unfortunately. I know that Jamie has always been a very a big proponent of ARs. He's familiar. You're more familiar with them than I am. Up until that point, even I didn't own one. It wasn't because I didn't like them. Just never had no interest in them. But when that man got elected, Guess what I went out and did? I bought
Yep.
my first AR-15 platform. I started out with a very entry level AP4, a DPMS, in a 223, and just messed around with that, played with it, had some fun, and realized that I love that gun. I love that platform. Now I call it Tinker Toys or Legos for men
Oh yeah.
because
I
you
mean,
can
once you
build them
got the
however you
base,
want
yeah, once you got the basics, you can go from there. And hey, Austin, how you doing? Hey,
them.
Brian. Uh, we were talking about all the money that when Obama came in, or when the Democrats actually last year was I mean, I can pull it up for you, but it was a record for the Pittman Robertson Act of getting in, because when guns are sold and ammo sold and fishing tackle, it's the most money that Pittman Robertson money goes for outdoor projects, gun ranges, helping preserve hunting lands. Clay can probably explain what Pittman, but it was a record last year. It was like 300, I don't know, million
Yeah.
or billion or something. I'm,
Yep. It's an
yeah.
excise tax that was levied on all things guns, fishing, uh, ammunition, anything that had to do with outdoors and sports, outdoor sports in general. And here's the funny thing is, it was brought forth by the sportsmen, the people that hunted and fished and shot and were involved in those recreational sports
Oh,
outside. And the idea was to establish this tax, and then it would be put back into the states it was collected, and they could actually use that money for conservation projects, building ranges, hunter safety courses, um, teaching young kids how to shoot. I mean, not just even hunter safety. I'm talking just good old fashioned shooting courses, trap clubs. That money was used across the states of North and South Dakota, especially to build all
to
these
teach
things
our
that
youth to shoot. Oh.
didn't. And I don't know if I guess I've never looked into this. Maybe that's what Game and Fish is funding the archery in the schools with. I don't know. If they are, it's a good thing. Um, I think we ought to bring back junior rifle clubs again. The
Oh
biggest way
yeah.
they got rid of those, especially even where I live, they got rid of it, citing that they could no longer have it done on school grounds because of the lead contamination in the range they were using indoors. Okay, fine. Let's get some of that Pittman Robinson money, and I mean this is a big funnel of money right now going into these states. Unfortunately, the game and fish departments most of the time are in control of it, and there's the problem. Not all game and fish departments, even in the Dakotas, have the best
Right.
people in mind. To
No,
me,
no.
go build a range and fund a junior rifle club,
Yeah, I agree with you, Clay. You're 100%. Randy's right there too. He abolish every branch that was not built by our founders. I mean, that's a
especially
big part.
Department of Ed.
Yeah, yeah. Randy's yeah. I can't say nothing. Uh, uh. So I just looked it up. I actually said last year was this year in the first quarter it was 300 million. That was a record
Oh,
for Pittman Robertson in quarter
in one
one.
quarter.
In one quarter. So hey Joe, I know you hate guns, man. You're doing it to yourself, buddy.
He is. You know what probably bothers him most? They really can't tap that money at the federal at the federal level because it goes back to the states.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're right, Mark. Shooting ranges in middle school would sure help. Yeah, 100. Yeah, in 50s and 60s, it was a thing for sure. I
Oh,
mean,
we had a huge junior rifle club. Now, I will tell you this. I'll throw this out there, Randy. When I was working with the NRA, we had the Friends of NRA, which was the NRA Foundation. We had our events that raised money, and that money came back to the state. In doing that, I think Jamie, you were even sitting on the state board at that time. We funded two or three ROTC programs that did just what basically the junior rifle club programs
yep,
did back in the 50s, 60s, all the way up.
more than one actually, didn't we?
Yeah, and got them going. I know Minot, we put a big one in there. In South Dakota, think of this, of all places, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, not exactly a conservative town. We put one in one of the private Christian schools, an ROTC program that had the firearm safety instruction and shooting part of it. And they formed a team down there, and I believe they went to state after that. So
Awesome.
we dropped like 20 grand into it to get them going.
Well, correct
And
me if I'm wrong too, but when Jesse was on Friends NRA in Mercer County, didn't a big portion of that Zap gun range there get built with
they
founder
got it.
money?
Yes, they got quite a sizable grant. I think more than once. It's been a
Yeah, I mean,
while.
I drive by that all the time when I go to the farm. They got the 300-yard range, and the dirt work was there in the buildings, and
Well, as far as
That's some
that
nice
goes,
tables.
the Bismarck Mandan Pistol and Rifle Club, that range up there by, remind me, where's that at?
It's
Mo-
down south. The
The
pistol
one,
one, you mean? Yeah, on the way
the
out to
one that's by
Marion.
the Bismarck Pistol and Rifle Association. I think isn't it up north?
No,
They own.
that's the Clay Target thing up there. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. I get Clay Pigeon shooting mixed up
No,
with the thing
but
out where
anyway,
Mark owns.
just to point that out is that range, which is quite a large range. I know they host military shoots, silhouette, long range, short range. I mean, they just have a huge range up there, and that was built with a lot of NRA Foundation money that was raised right there under the Friends of NRA program in North Dakota. Minot indoor range and outdoor range, and then they got a huge trap range, which I was very fortunate to go there and visit at one time as a senior rep. I'm telling you what, they put in. I mean, Moffett. Thank you, Brian Moffett. Moffett,
Oh,
North
you're
Dakota.
going way over that way.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
but
Gotcha. Yeah, I've
that's a
been
great range. And getting back to
Moffat is
Minot,
awesome.
you should see the trap range there with all the camper hookups because they got such a big shoot up there. I mean, they come from all over the country. So we're doing what should be being done with that Pittman Robinson money to an extent. I did twist some arms in both North and South Dakota's game and fish departments, reminding them that a certain percentage of that is supposed to be spent on that. That's why you see the range south of Mandan and south of Bismarck that the
Yeah,
game and
that's
fish
awesome
did.
down there.
That was all done. I mean, they put some money in too. Well, most of that was done with the Pittman Robinson money. Which, by the way, guys, when I visited with the North Dakota guy, this was at the very beginning. We did get better as right before I retired, but they basically told me we don't need NRA money. I was like, oh, really? Because they wanted to put a lot of restrictions that I didn't feel were right, and neither did the NRA support. Things like 50 cal restrictions. So I
Yeah.
asked that little turd, I was like, so that's what he was. And I think he was barely out of high school with his college degree,
Yeah.
charging the ranges. And he basically told me, he goes, well, 50 caliber scare people. I said, so are 54 caliber muzzle loaders banned then?
Yeah.
He just got dead silent. I said, what about the 50 A&E, that shoots out of a Desert
Whoever
Eagle?
got killed with a 56 caliber or 54 caliber.
I mean, I couldn't believe this. I said, you don't realize how many 50 calibers that are not BMG. I know that's what he thought about.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Barrett, Austin
What's
George
that?
probably shot. I said like a Barrett or something. I'm sure Austin George. I say yeah, Moffat range is awesome. I'll guarantee he shot a 50 before.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just this is what happens though. You get these big pool of money. They're in control of it, and they right away have their own little pet projects, and I mean what it's for. But getting back to the Pittman Robinson money, that's the origins of it. It exists today, and I can tell you right now, when you got people like Beijing Biden or Obama in there, those coffers fill up really fast because people go buy stuff. Full auto, baby, absolutely. Class three.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun shooting class three.
He was doing the mod deuce, I'm sure, but Austin's in the military, so
Oh, the Mod Deuce. Oh, one of my favorites, Austin. Now, of course, I wasn't in the military, but luckily, when I was with the National Rifle Association, we also like to have fun when we went to our summer meetings. And Class 3
even the
shoots were
winter
always
one.
on even the winter one. The Class 3 shoots were always fun, guys. They really were. And it opened my eyes. I really hate movies now when they portray firearms. You want to talk about giving firearms a bad name. I am sorry. I did take an M16A in full auto. I will take the
Hey,
three shot
Leon, better
burst
late
any
than
day.
never, brother.
Hey, made it. Leon, you missed everything. We're about ready to go off the air.
Yeah, you have to go back. Yeah. Dang, Eastern North Dakota guys.
Yeah.
Hey, you got the vibrator going there, Clayton. Don't
Yeah,
worry,
man.
Leon. We got a lot more. We're only halfway through, brother. You got something to add? By all means, put it in. We're all open to everybody's talking here. So
And I do believe we finally got our kinks worked out, Leon. So
yeah,
just so you know, I
yeah,
think we're
yeah.
cruising along pretty good here.
So let's. I know Leon will appreciate this since he just got here. We didn't talk a whole lot about Trump, right? We kind of
Not
touched
yet.
on it a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
still here, Jamie. I just had to shut
I
the
got
camera off.
you. I got you. Why don't you? Okay, all right, Leah. Hey, man, I'm glad you made it. Full auto 50 is something crazy, but let me say it's I believe that, Austin. Man, I don't care what anybody says, that would up your testosterone. I actually, a lot of people, the liberals like to say that about us right wingers and gun nuts who like guns. You shoot it just because it makes you feel like a man. That's not why I shoot guns. I enjoy shooting guns. I'll tell you what did make my testosterone boost up. My buddy Axel Hondo's got a flamethrower. I guarantee you pull the trigger on that baby and that flame comes out. That's gonna
Wait,
get
I
you
got to
jacked
stop
up.
you. We're going to show that. I got to show that.
Okay.
Now, Jamie was
All right.
having a lot of fun and is excited. So this is adult language, but it was fun. Here we go.
Yep. Fuck yeah! Makes me all. Hey, it's just like a guy on CNBC or whatever. I got a tingle go down my leg when I watch that. I love it. That thing's awesome, man. Right on, Mark. Yeah, man.
We happen to have that in our queue, so I had to put it up there.
Yeah, that thing was BA for sure.
I can tell you that I actually had the chance to do that. We was down, it was down in South Dakota, not too far out of New Underwood. And they had some of the World War II style flamethrowers. Now, you want to rush. I mean, them babies, I don't know how far they went out. And I can't imagine when they used those in war what that would have done to the enemy. I wouldn't have wanted to have been behind that. I really wouldn't have. Zombie cleaning tool.
They cleaned out the world. Our boys in the islands cleaned out they'd have probably been zombies back then. That's what they used them for in the caves. And
yes,
man, that was something.
No, I really enjoy them. The class 3 and the flamethrowers, they're a blast. And literally.
So yeah, let's go into a little bit about Trump here. Just went in, former president. I mean, there's a lot of Democrats thought that was great. Tell you what, if they can do that to President Trump, I got news for you. They're never coming for your guns. If they can do that to a former president who half the country loves, I can guarantee you they'll kick your damn doors in and get your guns ever you want.
They absolutely will. I can't agree more.
They're getting closer. I mean, come on now.
When have we ever seen a former president, from the day he left office, be under the scrutiny he's under now, and the attacks, not only after he left office, during office, and ever since he came down the escalator in New York? I've never seen anything like it in my modern time. And I mean, I'm 48 years old now. I've been involved with politics since I was in high school. Never seen anything like this. You want to start raiding ex-presidents and former presidents? Let's go take a look at a few of them. I don't think anybody really wants the FBI digging through some of those backgrounds. I don't think they're going to really enjoy if the Obamas had that happen to them. Can you imagine the outcry from the left if we did that?
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh yeah. We were talking about that. What if Trump did that to Obama? I mean, there'd be riots in the streets. It'd be unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Leon made his attorney stand 50 feet away. I mean, come on.
Wow.
Hey, speaking of that, where's the big Secret Service who were supposed to take a bullet for these ex-presidents? They should have been freaking knocking heads on the FBI guys.
Absolutely.
10 feet. I can't read nothing from 10 feet that small, Leon. So that's still. I mean, that sucks either way. They should have been able to grab that baby and read it.
They should have been able to copy. I want to see a copy of this warrant. Was it open-ended?
Yeah.
Was it for the premise? Was it for certain things? I know a little bit about this, and I'm sure some people that are listening do. You don't just get a warrant that the judge says, hey, yeah, here you go. Go over there and knock some doors in, see what you can find and bring it back. No, you got to be specific. There's got to be probable cause.
Yeah.
The way it sounds, it originates from some documents that were supposedly taken with the president. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I can tell you this right now. You can't just go do it for nothing. And there's so many rumors out there. I'm not going to put them out there now until they're proven. But if any of them are even true, wow, this was just unbelievable what they did.
Yeah, and I mean, and I heard, I listen to local radio and support them, but I heard the guys talking the other day. The guy called in, well, that wasn't the upper echelon. The upper echelon did it. That had nothing to do with the field agents. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Upper echelon, we're kicking freaking doors in and busting into the safe. That was field agents, man. I'm not saying there's not going to, if it comes down to it, that some law enforcement and some of the military would say no, but I'll promise you that the old saying, man, just following orders. I got a family and I got a mortgage to pay and I got this. There's a reason they're called 3%ers from the revolution. It's because only 3% of the people picked up guns and fought the British.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and if any, Austin, you're in the military. How many of you guys? I mean, they say it, but how many do you actually believe would say screw you and get out of not do it?
Well, I think here, you want my opinion, right here,
Yeah,
this is what's going to happen now, and it's going to get bigger. Trump
I hope
2024.
so.
I have no doubt that what happened is this didn't hurt him. It probably made his base infuriated, and I think you're just going to make them even stronger. I don't know what they thought they were going to get from this, because to me, if they found anything, they'd already said something. We haven't heard anything,
Oh,
and the
for sure.
excuse didn't work at Nuremberg.
Yeah,
Leon,
that's right, Leon.
and if we have any millennials following this, guys, go look up the Nuremberg trials, and you might learn the history lesson tonight. I guess we can.
Nuremberg, is that in Brazil?
Oh wow! I can tell you right now, I
Austin
have
thinks
never.
50% would say hell no. So I hope you're right, brother. I know you wouldn't do it, but man, I hope you're right because if 50% wouldn't do it,
Well,
they're in trouble.
I kind of tend to agree with Austin on this. I got a lot of friends from the military, still in the military, although they would leave, but they can't. They're too close to throw away retirement. I get it. They've been there many years. A lot
Hey,
of my
Leon, if
family
they put,
members got out.
sorry, Clayton, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Leon said they'll try and have him in cuffs by the end of the year. I'm going to go out and say this: if they put Trump in cuffs, that might be the spark in the powder keg right there.
I would
That
have to
might
agree.
set it off. I mean, because Clay, you and I had this conversation, and I said I want Ron DeSantis to run because I think the hate vote against Trump. But I got to tell you, even when I saw that yesterday or Monday, I was like,
Pissed you
you
off,
know
didn't
what?
it?
Damn right, I was pissed. I was like, hey, Ron, I love you, man, but I think I'm hitching Trump's wagon now. Let's do it, man.
And it's
That
like I
did
told you
piss me off.
before. There is no other candidate right now out there, and I like DeSantis and what he's done in Florida. It is not his time. I think he's a definite contender. Maybe 4 years from 2028, because Trump can't run again. But I can tell you right now, Trump is the candidate that can win, and he has the fortitude to do it. He has the money to do it, and he has the momentum because he's never let up. I mean, what do you think these rallies are about? And look at he's
Yeah.
filling stadiums, and Trump. I mean, and Biden can't even fill a Volkswagen Bug. I mean,
Right.
this is going to be epic. I don't know if they can cheat good enough. Now I think they'll
Can he
try.
fill the basket on his bike?
He
Hey,
falls
Randy
over.
and Brian, you're 100% right there, man. I was reading your message. Yeah, you're 100% right, both
Oh,
of you guys.
yep. And that's what this is about, guys. They're trying. They are so scared of the midterms. They truly are. And look what's been happening with Trump endorsed candidates. They're winning. I mean, Trump's got a pretty good record for endorsement
Yeah,
right now.
I mean,
Whether you like the man or
it's
not, you can't deny that.
way up there.
Oh, yeah.
It's way up there. So we're talking about that, Clay. Why don't you bring up that email my cousin sent to
Yeah, we can do that.
my
So
cousin
we got an
Dave?
email today.
He's in church right now. Actually, he can't. He's going to listen later. But
So this is from David. I won't give his last name out here, but okay, great. Now you got me on the spot here. Now I can't find it.
okay, yes.
All right, I found it. So David sent us an email, and David he wrote to us, and he said, "All my life I've been a Republican who does not support killing babies and homosexuals based on my biblical beliefs," and I share those same beliefs. But I had an issue with guns, and if we got rid of them, well, then no one would die. But then the George Floyd crap hit, and the riots, and people stopping us driving in the street, and my eyes were opened. I thought, man, if no one had a gun to protect themselves, a knife sure wouldn't do much good now. And I see that they want to take our protection away so they can make us their slaves and get retribution. And I liked the post I saw that how Cain killed Abel with a rock. Well, we might as well get rid of rocks in the world now, right? Ha ha. And he's absolutely right. What here's a guy that evidently, and you know him better than I do, I'm sure, Jamie.
Yep.
He wasn't exactly us. He didn't exactly encompass the Second Amendment as written, that it is our right, not a need, it's our right. And really, to me, and I've said this before, and I flashed it before. How Second Amendment am I? Boom, right there. I should have everything the military has because that's what
Damn
the
right.
Second Amendment was
Damn
written
right.
for. Well, here, David, he evidently was on the fence on a few things, and he understands the need now for self protection. And yeah, David,
Yeah.
thank you. I know you'll watch this later, and we appreciate the email.
Yeah.
If
Thank
anyone
you,
wants
Dave.
to email us, we got it
Appreciate your
running on the
honesty.
bottom here, and it's guns and the set. Sorry, excuse me, guns and the 701 at protonmail.com. You can reach us there anytime.
Yeah, Randy, I'm not sure why. I can't explain why the IRS agents need NRA agents, why the IRS agents need guns. Probably when somebody doesn't comply with their freaking hobnail boot on the throat, and they just got another, I think 3 months ago, they got another 700 million rounds of ammo, and I can't remember where I seen it earlier today, but when they had their thing out for a job, one of them was, if you need to be willing. I'm not saying this is actually what it's real, but that's what it's looked like, that you need to be able to shoot somebody if they don't comply. Who knows if that's real or not? But yeah, if they're carrying guns, I mean, because what we talked about earlier, Clay, off before we were on here, that the IRS was actually the alcohol, when alcohol was prohibition. They were actually alcohol prohibition agents.
And that's where you're going to find any gun laws that are written are under that Title 18, the U.S. Code.
Me too, Mark.
And ATF, of course, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. That's where your IRS agents came from, and that's how they got the term revenuers, because they were pursuing people during the Prohibition who were making illegal alcohol. So, you go back to that email, make all guns illegal. That worked real well, didn't it? We tried that experiment, even with a constitutional amendment, the Halstead Act, which essentially then it banned alcohol. That worked real well. We created an underground market. We had criminals get wealthy. We had more violence because of the wars going on over that product, because people wanted to control their turf. And then that led to the 19th. Well, we won't go on. The National Firearms Act. But we'll discuss that on a different day. So it actually created more violence and more turmoil. And of course, eventually it was overturned and repealed. So banning guns will never work, because there's too many people like me and you out there. I will never give them up. I don't care what law they pass.
The older I get, the more I dig my heels in on that too. It's something you got to do it. I mean, when everybody would comply to that, that would just be the end. I mean, they'd get whatever they can do whatever they want. You were talking about the NFA. I actually do got a little something for you on that. I won't get too deep into it unless you guys want to, but you should. Yeah, you're damn
Agree,
right, Leon.
Leon.
You should.
I want
Absolutely. I do too.
Leon says we should be able to have an M1 Abrams. Heck yeah, man.
Love it. Actually, my buddy drove one in the military. Yeah, right.
I don't know if I'd want the fuel bill.
Yeah, I know. I was actually just thinking of that. So the Texas Attorney General is suing Merrick Garland over the NFA and the 68 Gun Control Act, saying it's unconstitutional now after Bruin versus New York Pistol and Rifle Association versus Bruin has passed. So how do you think that's going to go, Clay?
Well, I imagine there's going to be a big fight, and they're going to have appeals, and they're going to say they don't have the right to do it. Texas is pretty good about flexing their state rights.
So some people maybe don't know what the NFA or the 68 GCA is, Clay. Why don't you tell them? Clay knows a lot. He can get a lot more in depth about this than I can.
Well, the NFA, of course, that was the National Firearms Act, which basically that was, and it happened because, sorry, I had to turn my camera off for a minute here, but the National Firearms Act came after the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Everyone remember that? Any history buffs out there? During Prohibition, when the Tommy guns come out and they mowed down all the little henchmen out there in Chicago.
Yep.
And of course, there was just outcry. We got to do something. We got to get rid of it. Tommy gun was villainized, and what happened out of that then was full autos. You had to get a class 3 and a tax. Or sorry, excuse me. You had to get a tax stamp, $200 tax stamp. Now in 1938, 1939, all of these years back then, $200. That was whole. I mean, in today's money, I don't even know what that would be. What, a few thousand?
Yeah, with Biden
Probably.
inflation, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been horrendous because you just didn't. I mean, I don't even think people made $5,000 a year. That probably not even that back then. But you could buy
Probably.
vehicles for what, a couple $100 maybe, and you
Yeah.
had to, pay on them forever because you made maybe $1 a day. I don't even know. But that's what came out of the NFA most. There was a lot of other things in there. That's how suppressors got put under that, which was insane. So then along comes 1968. Well, leading up to 1968, what happened? JFK was killed in 63. Martin Luther King was killed. We had all these, Malcolm X, all these civil rights activists were killed. We had the president killed. A lot of main things happened. And what was happening was, of course, the civil rights movement. 1968 comes along. We now have the 1968 Gun Control Act of 1968. That's where things really happen. That's when so many restrictions, and I'm not going to go into all of them tonight. We just don't have time.
Right.
We could do a show on that. But
I'm
long
down
story
with that.
short, that's where a lot of this stuff come from originally in 1968. A lot of limitations on a lot of different firearms. They thought that would solve the problem. It didn't, of course. It also led to the creation then of the National Rifle Association's Institute for Legislative Action. Up to that
Yep.
point, the NRA was a marksmanship organization. And that all, there's a whole history there. But NRA got created mainly because they saw such poor marksmanship from the North that when they got back, General Sideburns, as they called him, they got together, and Grant was even involved in this, guys, after the Civil War, and formed the NRA to
Yep.
better improve marksmanship.
Lifetime member, actually.
Yeah, yes.
I think General Grant was.
He actually served as the president at one time of the NRA, too. But that's what happened, guys. And then that led, of course, to the ILA, which got involved with, they said, all right, now's the time. We have to get involved in the political arena or we're going to lose all our rights. And fast forward, 1986, another horrible thing come through. That's basically when any full autos past 1986, unless you're military or law enforcement, you can't get them. That's pretty much what they're restricted to. That's how.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
all
you
came
can get one of the class 3 now, but the freaking
right
guns are. I mean, the cheap ones are probably going to be
gone.
$15,000. I mean, that's like a piece of junk. Yeah.
Yeah, they probably ain't even operable.
So I got a few comments here. Kevin says you have to show an ID and sign papers to buy scissors in England. Yeah, England's absolutely freaking ridiculous. I mean, before they actually had a ban, they tried to ban pointed knives. I mean, I was telling people, I'm like, they're going to do that because you don't need a pointed knife. You can stab people, and that's what the only people need a pointed knife is a chef. God, these. And Leon, you're right, too. The Second Amendment is an ironclad statement. There is no wiggle room. The Revolutionary War started when a tyrannical government attempted to take the confiscation of arms. That's exactly what I shot heard around the world.
Absolutely.
One of the colonials said, "No, I'm just going to go ahead and take a crack at one of these bastards," and that was it. I don't know if he ever hit him or not. I'd like to think he did, right?
Yeah. I don't know either.
Yeah, another Leon. We've allowed weak elitists to frighten us into ceding our right to self-defense. Yeah, weak betas, exactly.
Yes.
They hate alpha males. I think most Democrats hate alpha males.
What do they call that now? Something masculinity. I don't even remember. Toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity.
There you go.
Oh,
I'm back.
hey,
I was looking up some of the gun
what?
laws so I could refresh myself.
Hey, wasn't more. I saw a meme suggest that the NRA was created in part to help ensure that the recently freed slaves could possess arms also to protect. I think the actual reason it was created because the North figured the marksmanship sucked on their troops.
That was the main reason. It was for marksmanship. Right. And that's why you have Camp Perry. That's where they have the national shoots. Now,
Leon, they did come up with they got the rifling going. though. That's why the British were afraid of the long range shots with the colonialists.
Yeah.
So Clay, we see we got about 10 minutes here left. I mean, you wanted to talk about the new FBI thing here.
The
The
man bun
man bun
crowd.
crowd. The man buns are brutal. That's
So yeah, the
unbelievable.
FBI, they walked in there. As far as I'm concerned, the Justice Department's been weaponized, and I know that term's been thrown out there a long time. They served a warrant, whether it was done correctly or not. I don't know. I don't know the details. None of us do. We'll eventually know them. And raided a former president's house. And reason I really wanted to bring that up is I always hear people, oh, they were just doing their job, or we can't. And I'm not. No, don't get me wrong here. I am not demonizing police. Okay, that is not what this is about. But if you think for 1 minute that the men with guns controlled by government and politicians are going to be on your side when things come down, then I got some bridges to sell you with oceanfront property out here in North Dakota. These people
Yeah.
will do what they're told. Now, some of them may defect. They very well may. But I'm telling you right now, they're going to do their job. Even though their job sucks if it's against the Constitution. But look how many police today don't even question it. Look how many sheriffs. Hell, just look at local sheriffs. I only know a handful of actual constitutional sheriffs in the state of North Dakota. Corey Lee being one of them over there in Stark County. That man, he understands what the sheriff is to do. He isn't going to be one of them guys that says, well, the feds said I have to do this, so here I am. I'm just doing my job. No, he's probably going to arrest that federal agent and put him in his jail because he's
Right.
breaking the law, and he has the top authority in his county. So,
So
do we
what the
need him?
FBI,
Yes, but
what
would
the
I trust him?
FBI's
No.
right? What the FBI's calling. Well, Clay, we were talking about your flag. You're called militia violent extremist, the MVE. The
Yes.
MVE is what they're calling you, because Clay had a Betsy Ross flag. If you got a
Oh yeah.
Punisher skull,
Here.
if you got a
Oh, Punisher
Punisher
skull. Yeah.
skull,
Yeah, right
yep,
here, guys.
anything,
I fly this every 4th of July,
yep,
every
the
Independence
Betsy.
Day.
According to these guys, the Revolutionary War imagery, that means you're a, what did I call you? Militia violent extremism. You could possibly be one of them.
Yep.
If you got what's the one with like the 300, the movie, the 300 that they wore. If you have something like that, you got a Malone LaBee, you got to come and take it. I guess I've never seen this. A black flag, the black and white or black American flag. I've never actually seen that thing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what
It's
that
just a
is.
black flag.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, the Gadsden flag or any kind of Revolutionary War imagery, then that makes you a possible militia violent extremist.
Yep.
So basically, anybody who's a patriot and you're proud of it and you're proud of America. I mean, I guarantee you right now, the American flag is offensive to a lot of freaking Democrats and a lot of Democratic politicians. I don't say all of them because there is like old school Democrats but I mean, just loving it. There you go, Mark. Right on, brother. Yeah, don't forget white supremacists. Yeah. I mean, just being
Jamie,
white makes you want to.
We just saw this. Did you catch K-Fire today when they were talking about, I don't remember which town it was, but they've been saying the Pledge of Allegiance here since April, and now all of a sudden that's offensive and it's not inclusive. What? Because it says God in it? I mean,
well, down in Fargo, there's schools. The city commission band, right, or their school.
It was a city commission. That shouldn't even be an issue. I mean, that is our Pledge of Allegiance. I love what South Dakota did. South Dakota passed a law in every public indoctrination. I call them government schools because that's what they are. But in every single school in South Dakota, they have to have the nation's motto, "In God We Trust," right there on every wall when you walk in. And it has to be noticeable. It can't be this little bitty sign. I mean, that's outstanding. I love it.
Yeah. So Senator Cruz's boots, remind me again, Randy, what did he have on there? Was it the Gadsden or it was the Cannon, I think, right? I can't remember that's when he was talking. I was actually gonna talk something about it. It was the back and forth between Ted Cruz and Chris Wray. The FBI director, how the hell Trump ever got pawned into putting that joker in charge, but he had something on his boots there. And
I can tell you one thing: when Trump took office, of course, he wasn't a politician, guys. He's not. Is he an entertainer? Yeah. Is he a smart man? Yeah. Trump's a lot of things, but he wasn't a politician.
Oh, that reminds me of something.
And he had a lot of people in a lot of positions that he trusted, or so he thought. And you notice he fired a lot of people because that's what he does with people he doesn't trust and don't do their job. If the man gets elected again in 2024, I think you're going to see a deep, deep house cleaning in
He
every
better.
department.
He
And I
has
would do
to.
no different.
He has to.
I
So
mean,
speaking of that, Clay, who do we got challenging Kelly Armstrong here? I know you talk guns with her, and I saw some images of she thinks Fuzzy Ginsburg was just this great Supreme Court judge, which in my
yeah,
mind, off the bat, she never ruled for guns one time. So if you think an anti-gun Supreme Court justice is great, what's her name again? Kara
I hate
Mund, right?
giving her name out, but yeah,
Hey,
Kara
Darren, I hope
Mund.
you're not related to her.
He's not. I asked him when she become
Oh,
Miss America. But so here's her deal. She's going to run against Kelly Armstrong. And I can't get any confirmation on this. Evidently, she was going to do it in the Democrat Party. So that tells you everything you need to know right there. And eventually, from what I understand, when they went through their convention, I was like, I can't get any confirmation on this, but the rumor, and that's what it is that she is pro-choice, or as I like to call it, anti-life, because you want to kill something. And the actual Democrat that actually won the nomination to run on the Democrat ticket is pro-life, which is ironic in North Dakota. I think it probably is a little more relevant, but it's ironic, or it's even interesting that a pro-life Democrat could even get to that particular level in that party. And
I
then
know
when
what
I
you're talking
spoke
about.
with, go
Let me
ahead.
say something real quick. I heard him on. He was on with Bakken, the guy you're talking
Yes.
about. If that guy believed half the freaking shite that he was coming out of his mouth, he wouldn't accept the nomination from the state Democrat Party because he was trying to sound so damn conservative. I was listening to that guy in
Right.
disgust. I mean, sounds like he's accomplished a lot in life, more than I ever will. Super intelligent guy, but I can't remember his name. But sir, if you believed half of the stuff you were saying, you'd have told the Democrats to take their endorsement and shove it where the sun don't shine. So I think you're a phony, just like your pal Tracy Potter. Because he's
Perfect.
buddies with Tracy. He thinks Tracy's just great in the middle of the road.
Oh, middle of the well, if he thinks she's middle of the road, then he has no clue.
Yeah,
But
but Kara Mund, what's her
so
story about?
here's what Kara. I had to actually ask her this question because I always ask people this when they start flapping their jaws about things, and I can tell you this: that woman does not have any clue what the Second Amendment is about. She thinks it's about hunting, getting a duck gun, your rifle. She don't see any need for ARs. And if she says anything different now that she wants to run, she's a liar. She's a flat, bold-faced liar.
Maybe she
I
wants to
mean,
come on Guns in the 701 and have a discussion about it.
I'll put
Open.
her
Hey,
on
you're come on
anytime.
anytime.
I doubt she even remembers the conversation. She seemed a little airheaded to me. I mean, I don't care how smart you are in books. I mean, a lot of people can get a degree and they know a lot of things in a book with zero common sense. Well, I think she has a lot. I don't think she has much common sense. Good thing she had a pretty face and she could win a pageant.
Well, we're kind of going to run on this first woman representative, congresswoman. You know what? I don't care if you're a woman, man, black, white. If you if you sound like a Democrat, I couldn't care less. I'm not. I don't support you.
No,
And if you sound like a Republican, a true Republican, and you're running, then I'm going to support you. I don't care if you're a man, woman. I don't give a damn what your color is or what you got between your
no.
legs. I mean,
Oh, I'm
but
with
if
you.
that's how she is, I'm going to keep listening to her a little bit more. But
What really bothers me is the you don't talk about division. You don't see Republican Party. Whether the Republican Party is perfect or not isn't even a question. It's not. But you never see us running around going, "Oh, we're going to have the first XYZ name your whatever." What does that have to do
identity
with anything?
politics, yeah.
Yes,
Because they
I
know
want to
as
know what your
uninformed
policy
voters
is.
will, yeah, uninformed voters they flock to that. Oh yeah, it's great.
Low information voters.
I don't know.
And
I see we got somebody commenting CEK. I'm not sure, but I think it's my buddy Chris Couts. If that's you, Couts, appreciate you, man.
KSGs, yeah, fun times. You're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
yeah, those
We
are
used a few of
awesome.
them in the banquets, if I remember right.
Yeah,
But
yeah, BATF raffle when I did. Remember the
yep,
ATF raffle? Remember?
guys, you should have
What?
seen this at the NRA banquet. Jamie get his. We had the BATF raffle, and that's what you did. You won alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. So we had a firearm
Beautiful.
there. We used to always try to get some really fantastic cigars. And then one year we had literally a wheelbarrow full of booze. So we were just having a lot of fun with it. Jamie comes all dressed up with what, your ATF or FBI hat? I don't even remember.
Tactical vest on, the black tack vest.
Black. I mean, he looked like he worked for the guys. I'm telling you.
Had that whatever pistol we were giving away was tucked in there. I think it was.
Yeah. Oh, that was
it
a
was
lot
awesome.
of fun.
It was awesome.
And I got to.
All right, what do you think, Clayton?
I got to put a plug out here. Jamie and I are going to be guest hosting on Monday, August 15th. Talk of the Town, 12:70 a.m. out of Mandan. The show starts at 9 o'clock Central, 8 Mountain, and it's a 2-hour show. We usually have a lot of fun. We'll bring some guests on. We'll talk about who we have on there. And then we're going to do it again on Monday, August 22nd. So we want to invite everybody to tune into that because that's how this all started, everyone. Jamie and I got on there and we're helping out Steve Bakken, who is the actual host of that show. People seem to like what we were doing and encouraged us. So here we are. And we just want to just go ahead and tune in on 1270 because we'll be on there guest hosting again for like I said, the 15th and the 22nd.
We went over time a little bit, but I met a guy on the river yesterday. Never met him before in my life. He was friends. Dave was his name. Guy saw a watermelon shooting video Axe and I made, and he was going to tune in tonight. Hey, Dave, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys listening. If, spread the word. Clay and I, we ain't giving up anytime soon. So,
no,
stick around. We're going to keep doing this. Somebody's got to do it. I mean, there's a niche for this, man, and you and I are all about this. So, and I mean, we got some great people listening and commenting. Appreciate you guys. It's awesome.
We're having a lot of fun.
We're only going to get better
as things go on. And I know and here's the deal. We already have sponsors that want to get on board with us, and we appreciate that. And I know that we will get to that point. Jamie and I discussed this. I just don't feel comfortable taking money yet because I want to make sure we're offering a good product, something that's going to be there. And then as we go on, we'll start actually, getting things going, buying better equipment, doing a few things. I think we're doing pretty good with what we got, learning this. And like I said, I really like the platform that Trent Luce gave the suggestion to.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you guys, we're going to try to do a guest here, maybe the next episode. We'll see. We got to work out those kinks. But and there's one guy I want to have on for sure. That's got to be Marty Beard right away.
yeah. We're going to have Marty on. And, I'll tell you what, we got some elections coming, and Clay knows some politicians. I know some people running for office. I'd like to ask them to come on, and
yes.
And I'll tell you what, as far as gun control, and these people are saying these Supreme Court cases, the Dems ain't quitting. They'll never quit, no matter what law. If they pass the Supreme Court, here's an AR-15 case and says you can't ban AR-15s. They're in common use, which they are. I mean, from Heller case, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to them. They couldn't care less. They're going to keep coming. We're going to keep fighting them, and it's got to be done, man. It's got to be done. So Clay and I aren't quitting. They're not quitting, but we got a lot. Hey.
We'll keep going, and like I said, the best thing is you can go to our Facebook page, Guns in the 701. You read that too, Jamie? That's what I was laughing at.
Randy, when can I get the logo as a tramp stamp?
Hit the YouTube channel, like it, subscribe, share. That's the big thing. We got to you increase the viewership, and then it starts spreading. We're probably the only people that started this not to get rich, not to even care if we get paid. We just want to start to get the message out.
Thanks, Brian. And I got a video I did testing out one of the ARs I built. Clay's working on some editing, and I'm actually going out to Axel's after Scotty Bachmeyer's show Saturday morning. We're going to do something I don't see too often. I mean, I see it, but not like we're going to do it. We're going to do an actual AK range test. We're going to do a little accuracy testing. I told Axel it's his gun. He's got 44-year-old eyeballs that see really good yet, so he's going to be doing. I mean, we're going to do some accuracy testing. We're going to blow some shit up too, because you got to have some fun, man. I mean, shooting groups is fun too, but watching stuff. So we're going to video that, and Clay's going to do his magic on that, and then we got Prairie Dog shoot lined up. Clay, we got the big one next month sometime. We're going to get the boys together and roll down to South Dakota, and that's going to be a fun one right there, because I ain't shot. But too many prairie dogs. But yeah, I mean, we're looking forward to it, and I got plenty of 50 grain Sierra Blitz Kings that are just itching to. I mean, I'm probably running the camera most of the time, which is fun. I love watching guys shoot prairie dogs. It's great.
Well, if we do it right, and I think we got it lined up, I'm still waiting to hear on the other guy because I'm still part of Rack's Adventure Team, and so that video will probably air both on that channel and our Guns and 701 channel. But we own video equipment just for that. That's what we do with that. We make videos and put them out there from hunting and shooting. So the plan is both of us to have our equipment with, and I'm hoping that we can get some great footage that day. Having fun, celebrating the Second Amendment. It don't get
It's
any
gonna be
better than
awesome.
that.
Need a
A
good
good
drone view.
drone.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
that is.
absolutely right.
That's a great idea. See, I like that, man. We get everybody's opinions on here. Good. I like that. We've been getting a lot of good stuff. I
Absolutely.
mean,
And
I
I
actually
can tell
do.
you
My
this.
boss's son has a badass drone, so
There we go.
so the
I
guy I
bet you
work
if
with.
we invite
I
him to
mean,
come along,
oh yeah. T-Man, he's itching to shoot some prairie dogs too. He got a nice AR, so and yeah,
the
it's
drone thing, guys, I had one and I crashed it, so I haven't replaced it yet. So
yeah,
you're right, though. You can get some awesome footage, but
yeah.
I know they've gotten better since I had that drone. They were kind of new back then, and it was a learning process. I have some little ones, but I need to get a better one, and they're just getting better and better.
So the gun
But the
review
commute is
idea.
rough.
Yeah.
Come out to a
Yeah,
free state, Mark.
get a GoPro, put it on a little cart, and just park it out by a. Randy gave me the idea though of just like taking any guns like I own, my friends own, and just go do a review on them. Just
Yes.
for the, which that's what I did with mine. I built it. It's fairly new, but I mean, Axel's got them old the revolver, that we shot the watermelons with. But I mean, I think it'd be great to do a thing with that. I always like to see how something shoots, and we got chronographs, and I'm interested. Just because I'm a gun nut, I like to see how fast something's going and what kind of group it shoots and what it does when you shoot stuff. But yeah,
Absolutely.
we got a lot of stuff going, and we're open to ideas or criticism, whatever you guys got. I mean, we want to make this thing fly. This is a lot more than about me and Clayton.
Oh yeah, it actually has nothing to do with us. We're just the guys delivering the message. And
Yep.
yes, I have a lot of years in this arena, especially on the legislative side. I think that's why this works so good, Jamie. I've probably got, I don't know how many more years than you probably do in that legislative side. I've
You're
been
way
doing
ahead of
this
me.
since I was in high school, literally, guys. And I did a lot down in South Dakota. I helped a lot in getting the constitutional carry, although I never got to see it happen. It did happen afterwards, which was, I didn't care as long as we were part of making that happen. Of course, we have it in North Dakota. It's not as good as the South Dakota constitutional carry law, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I never give up. And that's why I never give up on that side. Can you imagine what the other side's doing every day? That's why we can't ever stop.
Yeah,
They
and
never will.
we're outcashed by them. I mean, they
Oh,
always say how much money the NRA has and the gun lobby. I mean, hey, we are the gun lobby's right here. The people, me and you, Clay, and everybody listening and supporting us, and we're the gun lobby. And the NRA gets absolutely buried in spending. I mean, people
it's
have no
horrible.
idea. They get, But the reason we keep winning is because our activists, our Second Amendment activists, we support. We're the people making the calls. But I mean, they are getting a lot more people, moms demand confiscation and the rest of them. But they got Bloomberg's money, and Dave Hogwash was up here, and Gabby Giffords was over there, and me and Marty went over there. Well, Marty actually organized that deal, but yeah, and it's a never-ending fight with these people and their sides. They got way more money than we do, but we got the Constitution on our side actually. So
Yeah, it's easy, guys, to defend this and debate it because we do have the Constitution. And our narrative never changes. You ever notice their narratives and their terms always change?
yeah.
Well, that's to appeal to the low information voter, low information constituent who has a 5-second soundbite memory. And that's what we're battling. It really is. Oh, here's Kevin Gills. If we get another Democrat governor in Pennsylvania, I might be moving to South Dakota.
Well, Kevin, you did tell me you haven't eaten antelope. Clay can probably get you on some antelope somewhere down
Oh,
there.
yeah. Saw a bunch today when I was out bringing the square baler home. So, yeah.
There are plenty down there in western South Dakota, for sure.
And, well, and we got a few around right here in western North Dakota where I'm at. It's hard to draw a tag there, but I live in the heart of the reservation. There's always that aspect that you can try for tags too.
What do you mean republic, Leon? It's a democracy, isn't it? We're a democracy.
Yeah.
You're right, buddy. They do reject the thinking of the founders. They hate it. They hate it. The modern Democrat Party absolutely detests it.
And not just that, Jamie, you'd be surprised how many people I know that have joined the Republican Party right here in North Dakota that think that our founding documents are out of date. I mean, and they're
Ouch.
right there in our own party. Um,
I mean, to this day, when I look at them, they make more sense now than they ever did.
well, they're clearly written. I mean, there's just nothing. They're clearly. Yeah, don't give me. I know you know Leon. Leon was actually at the deal that they had up there. Oh, I'm trying to think. It was at the AmVets Club. Can't remember when they did that, Leon. But Leon, he gets it. Leon definitely gets it, and he gave a great speech. They had a lot of great speakers there, and it was basically just to rally the troops, and they were well attended. So, guys,
Yeah,
keep
Leon's
looking
gonna
out
have to
for
be a
that.
guest. He's gonna have to be a guest for us one of these times, more than once actually. But
Absolutely. And bingo, Kevin, I've been calling them that for a long time. They are communist Democrats, and the DNC should just change their meaning to the Democrat National Communist Party because that's what they are today. They have infiltrated that party, and I know a lot of Democrats that left that party because of those kinds of things. I mean, if you guys ever get a chance, go to Prager University, PragerU, and look at some of their short videos, and you will see exactly what's happening, and they're spot on. They give a really good analysis as to what's going on. You can find them online. I stream them on my Roku, so it's really great. I can just bring them up and look at them anytime. But they're just nice little history lessons about anything and everything, especially in the founding. So I really encourage you to go there too. Well, Jamie, I
you
think
bet.
we
Let's
pulled this
cut
one
her off.
off without a hitch. We still got a lot of things,
Awesome.
guys. One, I'm going to give you
Yep.
one thing. HR 8051. This thing was introduced in June. That's picking up some traction in the Ways and Means Committee in the House, U.S. House of Representatives. And what that's going to do is add 1,000% tax on firearms purchases. Essentially, I mean it's an excise tax, but they want it for. And I'll read it right here: the sale of large capacity ammunition feeding devices and semi-automatic assault weapons, and for other purposes which aren't defined. 1,000% excise tax is what they want to pass. Now, does it have a chance? I'm not sure it can even pass the House. I think even that's absurd to some. I mean, really think about it. You take 100 times 10. That's $1,000 per 100. For every $100 you spend, it's $1,000 extra excise tax. So
So
a
Clay,
$100 item becomes $1,100.
how many heads would explode if you told a gal who went to a state where abortion was allowed that turns out there's 1,000% tax and you having an abortion now?
Oh, wouldn't they flip out?
These
And
people and their hypocrisies, it just blows my mind with these
they'd march
just
in the
scumbags.
streets, and I mean, yeah, it would be horrendous as if it happened in reverse like that. So, like I said, does it have a chance? It's been introduced several times before. You want to know what the NRA does, guys? When you don't hear about it, these are the things they're doing. They're in them committee meetings. They're up there testifying. They're twisting arms of both Republicans and Democrats that they support, and that's why they support pro-gun Democrats. There aren't very many, but they
Yeah.
do support them, and that's why, because they can make the difference. One or two votes in those committees can kill the bill. It's
Well,
better to kill
constitute
it there than to take it to the House floor.
well when permitless carry passed, Luke Simons, who there ain't, I don't know if anybody's more conservative that was in the House than him. He flat out said it. The NRA was in here fighting like hell for it to pass. So I didn't hear anything really about it until Luke said that. But
Well, you want to know how much it makes when one person stands up and says something? Luke, when I was on my way up, well, I was up there to go testify with you on our Stand Your Ground. Well, they changed the name of it, but basically constitutional carry and Stand Your Ground. He says, "Hey, there's another bill I'd like you to come testify on." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, I'm on the road. I hadn't prepared for it. And, well, basically, we ended up testifying on making this. If you make or sell or do anything in the state of North Dakota, it's not subject to federal law because it's the Commerce Clause. Well, it passed in Montana. After that, we got it passed, and Luke himself told me I was the only one that actually showed up to say anything. We did have Andrew Courtney was on there, via Skype, I believe. But we got that passed, and he said it was mainly on your guys' testimony that made that pass. That's what the difference one or two people can make just by showing up. And I was proud to be part of that. And I just happened to be up there that day to testify on a different bill. So,
well, yeah, I remember then Luke came out on Facebook before they, did cuffed him up on there, but he said that he was saying, hey, the NRA got an A+ grade, and the NRA helped out, and people were attacking him for coming out and saying how great the NRA was and helping out. They still, I mean, they wouldn't believe the guy. It just blows my mind how people get so damn butthurt about it.
Luke was a rock star. What happened to Luke, I made no bone. I told Perry exactly what I thought about it. The commie GOP chairman, as far as I'm concerned anymore. If he's listening, I really don't care. I'm sure it'll get back to him. Everything I say does, and that's why I'd rather be honest with the guy and tell him exactly what I think than to pussyfoot around it. I don't like him, and I don't think he's a conservative, and I think he fully understood what happened, and I think Jim Schmidt paid the price.
Hey, Kevin, I don't know what it's like out in Pennsylvania. Yeah, I agree. You should need a permit to exercise your right. You don't. They don't want you to even show your ID to freaking vote and to go buy a gun in a gun shop or Shields or wherever, or Man Down Sporting Goods, wherever you go. You need your ID. Then they do the background check. You get a background check when you go vote. No, you don't need a background check when you vote. You need a background check when you go on free speech. No, I mean, they're so damn hypocritical about gun rights. I mean, it's
it always is.
And Thomas made the point of future cases now that, hey, that's not undergoing any special scrutiny for the Second Amendment. That's a civil right, just like your First and your Fourth and any other of the 10 amendments are. First 10 amendments.
Absolutely.
So,
and I mean, as far as I'm concerned, a permit like that's the government saying, all right, we take your right away, even though they don't have the right to do that, and then we'll sell it back to you. And Leon, you're absolutely right. The Second Amendment is our permit. Those 27 words, that's our permit to carry. We don't need the government's permission. It's just that simple. I don't even like doing a 4473. And I get people, oh, you don't think we should have any regulation? I said, not really. I said, unless you can prove I've done something wrong, because the Second Amendment shall not be infringed. It's that simple. But I jumped through their hoops because I got no other choice.
Right.
That's just,
all right.
I don't believe in it.
Clayton, we said we weren't going to go over. We went over, so maybe we ought to. All right.
Probably called.
Yeah, there you go. Huh?
Now
they're coming through now.
It's like having a permit to talk.
Yeah, you're 100%. You're 100% right, Randy. That's an absolute fact.
Yep.
Most leftists can't name an amendment past the first and the second. Just ask them.
And they can't even name. There's also 5 parts to the first, and most of them get speech and religion, but they don't get the other 3.
Well,
the most important, I think, of the First Amendment after those is the right to petition. That gives us the right to petition our government and call them out. Of course, assembly is another good one, and then the press, but the press is dead. At least the mainstream is today.
Well, what I want to know, Clay, is how come the only amendment that refers to the people, that it's the National Guard is the Second Amendment. Every other one, it's the individual.
That's right. Yeah. And we have Supreme Court rulings that are going to help us on that a lot. But again, that's probably, we got plenty of information and show topics.
Yeah. So one more thing about the IRS, guess what? They got their own judges and their own courts. So when you get double agents, you ain't winning a case.
No. And it's a powder keg out there. I believe it. We'll see what comes down in this. I don't know where this is going to go, but I can tell you this. If the battle must be fought, I'd much rather do it than have my kids have to do it. And I will step up and take that.
Yep. I'm already old and gray, so.
That's right. We've had a good life, right?
Yeah, I can't complain, man. It could be a lot worse.
I think.
All right, man. We better end this, Clayton.
We better. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope everybody enjoyed the second episode of Guns in the 701. I think we pulled it off pretty smooth this time. Yep. I can tell you this. We enjoyed doing this. We will be back here every Wednesday, 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And in between, we'll definitely try to be uploading videos, share them on our Facebook page along with the YouTube page. And keep it exciting. I think that's just a lot of fun when we get those, like the videos we
Thanks,
did with
Kevin.
Jamie. That was just a lot of fun making it, and I think people are
Yep.
entertained on it. So,
We got a lot of
guys,
ideas coming, so
we do. And as I always say, keep your
daily.
powder dry,
Ooh,
everybody. Have
right
it
on, Clayton.
eventually daily. We appreciate that, Mark. We do. And who knows, it
We'll
might
talk to you
happen.
soon here, Mark.
But yeah, guys, keep your powder dry. Stay safe. God bless everybody. And we will see you next Wednesday right here on Guns and the 701.